Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Cynthia, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Mr. Hannah should be dialing in. I just wanted to make sure he got in, okay? And then
Okay.
I'll hop out. So he said he's logging in now.
Okay, that's no problem.
Did you post a link to your story earlier?
Oh, no, ma'am. It hasn't ran yet. It's going to run tonight at 10 in the 11 o'clock.
Oh, did you run our interview?
Oh, yes, ma'am. That ran today.
Okay. Did you do a link for that one?
Oh, no, ma'am. I didn't do a link for that one. Normally, we just post the links to
the later story.
Yes, okay, ma'am. So as soon as I get that posted, I should be getting it done around maybe 8:30-ish.
Okay.
So I have most of it done. So once I get this interview with, I think it's Dr. Hannah, is it?
Mr. Hannah.
Mr. Hannah, then I'll go ahead and plug that in, and then it should be up online by 9 o'clock.
Gotcha. Well, but my video won't be in what you post.
Yes, it will be.
Oh, okay. I got everybody was like, "Hey, I saw you." I was like, "Oh gosh."
Yes, you were on there. All four shows played it today. So I was like, "Oh, okay, go for it."
All right, cool.
Super.
Good deal. He's not in yet.
Mom, this is not funny. That's cheating.
What's cheating? Oh, the way they did the tic-tac-toe. Yeah.
They could have made it.
Come on, put on your pajamas.
They could have made it to where.
Ms. Cynthia, you said you've been working with the school district for a year now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know why I thought you had been here a little bit longer.
Nope, I started in the end of February.
Oh, wow.
Right. And then we went into COVID.
Yeah.
What a way to start a new job.
Oh, I think he's on. Let me admit him. He's in the waiting room. Okay, here he is.
Is he? Okay.
He's joining. There he is. Okay.
All righty.
All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Cynthia.
You're welcome. Let's get his audio going. Upstairs in your room. Mr. Hannah?
Hey, give me 1 second.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get the camera. 1 second. Where we at?
There you are.
Hey, all right. Top of the day to you. How you doing?
Good. Mr. Hannah, this is Ashley Jones from WJBF.
How you doing, Ms. Jones?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Excellent. No complaints today.
I like the background you got going on.
Thank you. Highly appreciate it.
And I'm going to hop off. Mr. Hannah, you're in good hands. Ashley's on WJBF, and this will air during their 10 and 11 o'clock broadcast. And then she'll post it online as well. And of course, we send those links out to the board. So
yes, ma'am. Okay. Appreciate it, Cynthia. All right.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks. If you need anything else, let me know, Ashley.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
All right, Ashley, what you got for me?
Okay, perfect. Well, if you could just start with your first and last name and then spell it for me and tell me your position with the school board.
Okay, I'm Charlie Hanna, CharlieHannah, and I am the Richmond County Board of Education President.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm pulling up my questions here.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you about these students that will be moving from Murphy Middle School to Richmond Hill,
Yes, ma'am.
and then the other schools that also, or other students that will also be moving from different schools to these other schools. Starting with Murphy, how many students are you looking at moving from that school to Richmond Hill?
Ooh, and I don't have that exact number. We just, yeah, what we're doing is, if you don't mind, let me just chit chat for a second.
Mhm.
Is that we have Murphy Middle School and Willis Foreman, I think, are two schools that's critical to us. Willis Foreman is underutilized, and Murphy is really, really, really getting crowded. So what we're doing, the purpose of right sizing, is really to try to balance out the equation as much as possible. And what we're doing with Murphy is that we're actually shifting some of the student population over to Willis Road, which has capacity to, handle the shift. And we're taking students from Diamond Lakes to Willis Foreman Elementary, simply because Willis Foreman is underutilized and there's a lot of residential development going on around the Diamond Lakes area. So it's better preparing that school for that, for the future population shift. As far as me having the exact numbers of how many students will be affected from each of these shifts, I don't have that at my disposal, at this particular time. But I'd be glad to get that to you. In generally, it will only be a good estimate. We don't know what's going to happen with the shift between whichever plan we're adopting when school starts. So it'll be a good.
So how do you all, how do you all formulate that number of how many students you are going to move?
Well, we have a consultant firm led by Mr. Montgomery. He's worked with us on our last two, even prior to me being on the board. And they go into the school, they do essential studies, and they come back with their proposal, what they think would be the best benefit to the county, and how we can maximize the student funds in order to benefit our students. And now, once that's done, once Mr. Montgomery gives the administration his suggestions, his proposal, it eventually comes to the board, and we have these public hearings to get the public's input and their suggestions. Because what I like to say is, and put emphasis on, although we have an initial proposal, it is just that, a proposal. We haven't adopted it yet. So we're always looking for citizens' input.
Okay, so this is just proposal. So it's not set in stone that you all will be doing this.
No, it's not set in stone. There is room for adjustments, but any adjustment will most likely come from hearing from the citizens.
Okay, and my other question is about C.T. Walker Magnet School. Mm-hmm. It's so I heard during the meeting that you all are looking at splitting those students up between A.R. Johnson, Davidson, and the Richmond County Technical School. So yes, I wanted to know, weren't there some requirements? Because I know for Davidson, I actually had some friends that used to go there. There were an audition phase that they had to go through to get into that school. So yes. How is that working with you all just moving these students to this school? Will they still have to go through that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, it at this particular stage, and don't hold me to stone on this one, but at this particular stage, any of the students that will be going to Davidson, they will be required to audition in some capacity. As far as with our RCTCM and AR Johnson, then testing would not be required. It may actually just be a straight transition. But in reference to Davidson, at this particular stage, and an audition will be required for any student wishing to attend that school.
Okay, and so the students actually have a choice between these 3 schools of which one they want to attend.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then that's
Yes.
okay.
Yes. They
right.
will still, yes, they will have a choice. But unlike the other 2 schools, Davidson, you will have to audition. So
Okay, and then my last question was about the NPUs and feeders. Can you just kind of explain to me what those are?
well, the NPUs is our planning units. It's like we have each geographically, the district is bounded off per school. The feeder pattern is how students would transition from an elementary school to middle school to high school. What school they will eventually end up at, depending on which planning unit, which area, geographical area that they're in. For instance, we will have Murphy students will normally end up at Josie, and you may have some that end up at Butler. It all depends on the feeder pattern that's being laid out. And right now, that's not set in stone either. But the feeding pattern is basically where you walk at from the beginning of school all the way to graduation, if you stay in the same geographical location. But every now and then that has to be adjusted. The feeding pattern has to be adjusted depending on the student population shift.
And for my last question, could you just explain to me some of the proposals that you all are looking at for the academic year 2023 to 2024?
I don't know. Can you be more specific?
Yes, I know that there were some other proposals that you all were looking at involving right sizing for the next academic year. I think they were a part of that presentation.
Okay, that one. Well, A.R. Johnson, I'm gonna say C.T. Walker will not be affected this year. We don't want to rush the process. Plus, we have some construction going on at Davidson, and plus, some parents have expressed, their opinion that it was too short of a notice. And so, in light of them feeling that it was too short of a notice and the ongoing construction that we have at Davidson, we are going to defer their right sizing until the next school year. So that was the only adjustment to the proposal.
Okay, and then looking at, has there been any talk about phase 7? I know that we're in phase 6 right now. Has there been any talks about phase 7?
Not at this stage.
Okay, well, perfect. Is there anything else that you wanted to add that I didn't ask you?
No, the only thing I would like to say is that I would like for the parents to come to we'll log into our next week right sizing meeting, and let's give us your input. We would like to hear it.
And so they'll be able to call that same hotline number as well.
Yes, they just call in. We're going to leave the line open for 10 minutes once the presentation is over. And if we have we need a little more time, I'm pretty sure that won't be an option if we have a very concerned and vocal parent or any citizen that want to discuss the issue of right sizing.
And the next meeting will be focusing on what proposal exactly? The same one that you all talked about today, or?
Yes, ma'am. It's going to be the exact same proposal.
Okay. All right. Well, perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Hanna. I keep wanting to call you Dr. Hanna. I don't know why. But Mr.
Nope. Mr. Hanna is perfect.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for speaking to me on short notice like this.
Yes, ma'am. Have a good one now.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.